G'day everyone and welcome back to another live stream here at the Australian Reptile Park. My name's Dan and I'm the head reptile keeper here, and today we're going to be doing something very, very special. It's the Elvis Death Roll Special. So we'll be giving him a really substantial large piece of food which we're going to throw into his pond, and then what we're hoping to see today is Elvis grab the food obviously and then spin around and basically rip the food in half. Now, saltwater crocodiles, when they death roll, they really show off how powerful they are, and we do this only once or twice a year, and it's really get an appreciation of 450 kilos of saltwater crocodile working at its maximum force. And you can understand in the wild why a crocodile might need to do this. Now, in particular for saltwater crocodiles, now whilst most crocodilian species will do their own version of a death roll, this spinning maneuver, imagine a saltwater crocodile grabbing a really large mammalian species like maybe a water buffalo or a feral pig or even a horse coming down to the water's edge to take a drink. They grab that animal, they can't tear the animal apart unless they use this force. So what they do, the teeth will grab a hold obviously, that creates perforations in the skin and the muscle, then they'll start to spin their body. This will rip off the flesh that they need. Obviously they can't really use their feet to be able to pull the food apart, and they definitely can't masticate their food in their mouth like we could. So instead, they tear off big chunks. Now, you can imagine if you're a crocodile as big as Elvis, you're 450 kilos, you're 4.5 meters long, you want to eat between 20 and 30 kilos of food. So if you have one really big kill, that can sustain you for maybe 2 to 3 months at a time. So that's why they'll typically do a death roll when they're taking down a really large mammal species. Now, this can be quite dangerous, so we've got a lot of people on guard today. I've got Brando watching the crocodile, I've also got Scotty as well helping me out. So we'll all be inside, we'll give him a little bit of food. Now sometimes with Elvis he might death roll in a couple of minutes, but there could be other times where he might take 10 or 15 minutes. So I hope he does it really quickly for you guys, but we never really know exactly how Elvis is going to be. Sometimes we'll give him a bit of food, just like he's got a big kill out in the wild, he'll sink to the bottom and hold it there, basically waiting for that animal to drown. So we'll see how he goes today. Hopefully he'll do the death roll pretty quickly. Now, we hope you've been enjoying all of our live streams, and make sure you tune in for the rest of the week, but this is going to be one of the most exciting ones, there's no doubt about it. So what we're going to do in a couple of seconds, I'm going to get Brandon to swim the crocodile around, we're going to bring the food in, and then we're going to see if we can get Elvis, our big beautiful crocodile, to do a couple of death rolls for you. But let's see how we go. So Brandon's going to signal to the crocodile to start moving. He's going to start tapping the water, sending out vibrations through the water, where he's signalling the crocodile exactly where he wants him to go. I've got the guys over the fence there grabbing the food for me. He's going to swim the crocodile around. We're going to put the food on the water's edge there, get Elvis to come out and grab it, and then we'll start to basically play tug-of-war with the crocodile. So we will pull force against Elvis. He's then going to try and drag that food item into the water, and then eventually he will start to spin and we'll be hanging on to the other end of the rope. So as I said, sometimes it could take a couple of minutes. Other times it can take substantially longer. So we're going to move in a little bit closer now. Elvis is probably maybe 15 seconds away from getting around to where the food will be. All right, ready to go, guys? Okay, bring it in, Scotty. Just going to get rid of that. Yeah, just right on the edge. Go a little bit closer. All right, Brando, once he's around that melaleuca, you come with us, mate. Okay. So he already knows the food's there. He would have smelt it about 20 minutes ago, so he kind of knows exactly what's about to happen. Now, but look how patient he is. Look at the way he's behaving. He's still underneath the water's edge. He doesn't want the food item to know he's there, so he's literally stalking that food item. So you'll start to come towards it. You can see his head is turning towards the food. He's had a little look. He definitely knows it's there now. Oh, where's he going? Oh no, he's gone the other way. So again, I'm just sending out those vibrations. Now you can imagine, now I'm the animal that's come down to the water's edge. There we go. Now he's switched on to the food. He definitely knows it's there. We'll bring him out a little bit. Can you see how big he's... Oh, there we go. All right, let's let him grab it. There we go. All right, now it's time to wrestle with the crocodile. I'm probably not going to be able to speak that much, but we'll see how we go. Wow, he's so strong. All right, let's see if we can get a death roll from him. Come on, big boy. He's thinking about it, that's for sure. Come on. Come on. Here we go. Let him have it for a sec. All right, ready. He's getting his body in that axis. He's preparing himself for it. Obviously, he needs to build up as much force as he can. He takes a couple of big, deep breaths, brings those feet forward. Well, and usually he doesn't do that. Now, what I'm worried about, that food's going to break.
Snap. Yeah.
It's going to snap. Oh no! He's ripped the food off. Oh, well, we didn't get a death roll. Oh no.
He's going to sit there for a while.
So he's probably going to sit there for a while. Now, what basically happened then, when he ripped it apart, he literally ripped the food item in half. So instead of him doing a death roll, when he repositioned his jaws, he actually changed the way the meat was sitting and really tore it. And as soon as he shook his head, it basically ripped the food in half. Now, I could feel the power he was pulling that away from me. But yeah, he basically, he beat us today, I think.
What do you do?
So I wouldn't call it a death roll, I'd call it a head shake. And yeah, he managed to get the food in one bit. Now, he's probably going to sit there for a fairly extended period of time with the food. You can see the way he's sitting right now. He's basically sitting on the surface of the water. He knows he's got his kill. He's almost showing it off to us at the moment. And sometimes he'll sit there for 30 or 40 minutes before he decides to eat. But other times he'll start to crush it almost immediately and then swallow. Now, obviously, we weren't planning for that meat to come apart so easily, but that's sometimes how it goes. When you're working with a 450 kilo crocodile, they're extremely powerful and really only took one head shake, and he was able to perforate right through the middle of that meat. Now, I've still got a little bit of meat. I'm still trying to get my breath back. I know, even though he got it so easily, it's amazing, like the force that you can feel when you're on the other end of the rope, and you realise, like, there's been times where he's pulled me and 3 other guys almost into the water because he's that strong with one head shake. But I almost think we're going to have to do a death roll again another week, I think. Absolutely. And maybe not get Scotty to cut up the meat next time. So anyway, a little bit of story about Elvis the crocodile. I've obviously got to fill a few minutes here. He's pretty special, and it's because of the things that we're able to show you. It kind of teaches you a really important lesson about how easy it is to stay safe in crocodile country. Now, if you visit the top end of Australia in particular, these has to be one of the easiest apex predators on the planet to avoid, because even though me and the guys were on land, Elvis wasn't really trying to chase us or anything like that, because we're standing too far back from the water's edge. If you look at the way his body's designed, he's got this huge big belly, short little stumpy legs, a bit like Brando. He's got the big thick muscular tail which acts like a handbrake when he's out on land. He's not designed to chase a land mammal like us on land. When I was tapping at the water's edge though, that's a different story. When you're at the water's edge or you're in the water, that's where you could potentially come into trouble when you're working in around saltwater crocs, or if you're a tourist up north, or maybe even a local. Never take a risk with a saltwater croc. Now, he's been living here for the best part of 10 years. We're very, very lucky to have such a special crocodile living here, and he should live here for anywhere between another maybe 20 or 30 years. Saltwater crocs can potentially live over 100 years of age, so if he's in his mid-50s, who knows, he might be here even longer. He's probably not going to grow much longer than he is right now. He's 450 kilo, he's 4.5 meters long, but it's highly unlikely that he's going to get substantially larger than that over the next 10 to 20 years. He might bulk out a little bit, but he's never going to be a 6 meter long crocodile and weigh 1,000 kilos like some of the largest crocodiles ever recorded. All right.
Time for some questions, Dan?
Yeah, saving you some questions, thank you.
So we heard an almighty crack when he first bit down.
Yep.
What kind of bite force do their jaws have?
Yeah, so when you heard that first crunch and that first slap, you're talking about the strongest bite force of any animal on the planet. Now, it's about 3,000 to 5,000 pounds per square inch closing bite force on their back teeth. That's almost 3 times the bite force of a hippopotamus, so it's extreme. And that's when their jaws come together, when the meat's not there, when it really slaps down, it sounds like a shotgun going off. It's so loud, and that's bone on bone. It's really loud, hollow crack, but really, it's the strongest bite force of any animal.
What's the biggest piece of meat that they can eat?
For a crocodile as big as Elvis, his stomach's probably about the size of a basketball. So you're talking anywhere between 20 and 30 kilos worth of food at a time. Now, for a really big crocodile, that might be able to sustain them for a month, 2 months, 3 months, sometimes even longer.
How old is Elvis?
So here's a wild-caught crocodile. So wild-caught crocs don't typically come with birth certificates, but we can guess his age by his size and how long he's been here, and we predict he's around 54 years of age. So it takes a very long time for a crocodile to get extremely large. When they hatch out of an egg, they weigh around 60 grams. He weighs 450 kilos. Really big crocodile can be 1,000 kilos. They reach their sexual maturity size anywhere between, say, maybe 15 to 25 years of age, depending if you're a male or female. So we know he's big. He hasn't grown too much, so he's easily well above 40, and he's just way too pretty to be 60-year-old crocodile.
What's the relationship between you and him like?
Oh, not so good right now. He just embarrassed me on live stream. No, look, to be honest, the ultimate respect, more so from me to him. Now, Elvis, I wouldn't say that he loves me. I can't give him a cuddle and give him a pat on the head, because if I did, he's starting to play with the food a little bit. He's just moving it around in his jaws. So he just took it down under the water and he kind of chopped from side to side. He's going to try and figure out how he's going to eat it, I think. Here we go, might get a crunch here. Oh. Oh.
How often do they need to eat?
How often they need to eat? So depending on their size. Now, we might start stepping back a little bit because he's about to figure out he's out of food. Here he goes. Yep, he's coming back towards us now. So depending on the size of the crocodile, I'll start going this way and you can keep going as well because he's coming after us now. So depending on the size of the crocodile, juvenile crocodiles might eat every couple of days. A really big crocodile, their adult size, only needs to eat maybe once a month. They'll probably get 10 or so really big kills a year, and that's about it. So particularly for reptiles, they do a lot of their food that they intake when they're young, that goes straight into development. So them growing, as they get older, that starts to change, and their food is mainly related to reproduction instead, so a little bit different.
All right, Dan, we might wrap it up there.
Yeah, well, thanks guys. I hope you enjoyed something. It was a little bit exciting for us anyway. I hope you enjoyed that too. And obviously we might have to do another death roll another week. But yeah, it's pretty special to be able to work with a crocodile like this. I blame Scotty for the way he cut the meat, but that's all right. Thank you all so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of our live streams throughout the rest of the week, and I hope you're staying safe at home. See you soon. See you later.